This is a video just of our return trip this last spring when we left Moab and came back to Montana. And there's just always so much to see. We try to go a different way each time. This is just some of the stuff. Took a break about halfway up Loma Pass. It's kind of nice to come out of the desert, and within an hour of getting out of the flat, hot stuff down there, you get up into, there was a snowbank just back here a little further. That's the pass we're going up over that mountain over there. We decided to eat lunch here and cool everything off.
Not quite as pretty as Cook City, but close.
Surprised. This is a Saturday and it's been so little traffic on this road. There's like nobody coming this way. We've only seen a couple cars, so oh, there's a couple cars coming, but it goes all the way up over the top. You can see the radio towers up there.
There were a lot of cars in Moab coming into Moab.
Yeah, going into Moab there were a lot of cars.
Campers and
over
stuff.
Here there just hasn't been any. I don't think I'd really want to tow a camper or anything up this. I think you'd really have to work your engine hard.
Pretty.
Alright, as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. More snowbanks. This 70-year-old marker says this: Splitrock was a famous natural landmark used by Indians, trappers, and immigrants on the Oregon Trail. The site of Splitrock Pony Express from 1860 to 1861. The stage and telegraph station is on the south side of the Sweetwater River. Splitrock can be seen as a cleft in the top of the Rattlesnake Range. So there was a trading post here at one time, I've read, and there's also the sign of the Pony Express here at one time. And now it's just a bunch of fields in Antelope. So here we are. This is on the lower end of the Granite Mountains. It was known as the Splitrock location. That's the Oregon Trail running right down through the bottom there along that creek. Ran along these mountains. Started in 1812, the wagon cart route through here. And it continued into the 1900s, of course, before the railroad was established. There was some sort of trading post here for a while, just up the road, and this is the countryside. They were skirting the mountain ranges, as you can see. Off in this direction, they often would have snow on those mountains. By the way, it is almost May, and there is still snow on those mountains. Leftover snow. There's my Jeep. We stopped at this little historical place, and it's kind of weird thinking that more than 100 years ago there were people walking around on these rocks. This was a stop that wagon trains would stop at. I can just imagine the kids got out and crawled all around on this stuff just like any other generation of kids would do. Look at all of the surroundings, and maybe a dad or two would get up, look around to see if he could see any dangers or anything they had to be aware of. Or maybe there was a native scout peeking down over the top looking at a wagon train. You know, all of that stuff was happening right here. You know, it was all, it just, when you come to places like this and you see that, you start thinking, what's it going to be like in another 100 years? Will any of this matter in another 100 years? Will it, you know, will it be remembered at all? I doubt anybody will be wondering if some guy in an orange Jeep was walking around on it. But the more significant thing was probably the first pioneers, and thousands and thousands and thousands of them died trying to get through here. And yeah, there was, you could make the argument that there was native problems and all of that. You know, they were here too, and they were trying to live in the same harsh conditions. There just isn't much out here to live on. And they had the buffalo, of course. But before, this was a trail that some of the natives used to track buffalo. We know that that was the trail that they used to establish the original route in 1812. They were following an Indian trail that came through here. It's just interesting that they would choose to cut right through this split. It's called Splitrock. And this is where they came through.
Thanks for watching. This was just one of the short little videos I've been able to put together while waiting for my next big adventures. I have a couple more here local, and then of course we're going to be running the Rubicon Trail this year and doing some trails in the Craters of the Moon, and we're going to be doing some trails in Nevada, so stay tuned for lots of new stuff.